It's very easy to say the words, "I love you," to your spouse or another family member, and we should. We need to verbally express our love and commitment on a daily basis. But it's quite possible that the ones which we love the most may struggle with the knowledge of whether or not they're really truly loved and accepted. The ones we live with and are closest to may not fully recognize the sincerity and the depth of our love and commitment. Now, I have no doubt that in extreme situations, most parents wouldn't hesitate to lay down their lives for their children. Most husbands would sacrifice their own lives for the sake of their wives. That's just something we would do, no questions asked. But those extreme situations are very rare, and most of us are never called upon to make that ultimate sacrifice and literally lay our lives down for those we love. Instead, we're called upon to live in everyday, ordinary situations where we have the tendency to take each other for granted. Those meaningful and necessary words and actions that would otherwise express and prove our love go unsaid and undone. And the depth and sincerity of our love is never fully known or even understood. Paul encourages us to make sure that those we love have absolutely no doubt in their minds that they are loved and accepted unconditionally. In 2 Corinthians chapter 8, he encourages the Corinthian believers, "Wherefore, show ye the proof of your love." Show the proof of your love. In other words, put that love into words and actions. Invest a treasure of your time or energy or money into the lives of your loved ones. Paul uses the word agape to show that this is a self-sacrificing kind of love, a dying to self kind of love, the kind of love that puts the interests and needs and even the wishes of the other person before our own. Speak words of blessing and affirmation to your spouse and to your children. This is a great place to start. This is huge in their lives. So be alert to ways in which you can affirm them and praise them and encourage them. Especially in the past, if you've been prone to be negative and being critical, that needs to change. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." The words we speak have the power to impart life and hope and encouragement. Realize that nobody has got their act together. Even the most seemingly well put together people have major insecurities and fears, and that includes every member of your household. Your wife, your husband need to hear words of life, words of affirmation and kindness and praise, and they need to hear those words primarily from you. But don't just stop at words. As important and as significant as they are, turn those words into actions and attitudes. A number of years ago, one of my sisters-in-law was visiting with us, and to be funny, she gave my wife Audrey a little wall hanging that was intended for me to see that read, "All I ask is that you treat me no differently than you would the Queen." Now, we laughed at the time, but the reality is that's exactly how I ought to be treating her. We need to treat our spouse as though they are the most important person in the world. Show her manners. Open the car door for her. Help her on and off with her coat. Prove your love today for your spouse by the way you listen when they're talking to you. Turn in their direction. Stop what you're doing. Look him in the eye. Make that emotional connection. Because little and frequent connections like that build a deeper relationship. So that when you say the words, "I love you," it's going to mean something. Don't have your spouse and your loved ones second guessing whether or not you really love them. Go out of your way to show them, as Paul said, the proof of your love.